guys? Welcome to Black Scout Survival Late Night Live. Thanks for tuning in. Something just broke a little bit ago. See this here. U.S. lawmakers plan for possible mass casualty event, proposing a constitutional amendment to replace members quickly and change various lines of secession in a national crisis. It seems like they know something. You know what that is, we're unsure, but there has been an uptick in the Russia invading U.S. Now, what we're talking about here, Alaska on alert, U.S. troops sent to counter Russian threats. So what we've been seeing is, in response to recent Russian military activity near Alaska, including the presence of jets, surface vessels, and submarines, the U.S. military has deployed soldiers from the U.S. Army's 11th Airborne and 1st and 3rd Multi-Domain Task Forces to Shamia Island, which is located about 1,200 miles southwest of Anchorage. So the Army has deployed also high mobility artillery rocket systems, while the Navy and Coast Guard has sent vessels to the area. Now, in the past week, what we've seen is that Russia has sent multiple jets, 2 surface vessels, and 2 submarines that have come very close to the Alaskan coast. And the activity was deemed enough for the Army to deploy troops in response. Now, the NAAD Command, or North American Aerospace Defense Command, said it detected and tracked Russian military planes operating off Alaska over a 4-day span. The Russian jets were in Alaska's air defense identification zone, and the Russian jets were not alone. They had the 4 Russian Navy Federation vessels with them, 2 of them being submarines, all of which crossed into U.S. waters. Also, what we saw is that Russian state TV discussed options for seizing Alaska. And what they were discussing is that Alaska once belonged to Russia before being sold to the United States in 1866. And the article states that this echoes the rhetoric used in the war in Ukraine, and Ukraine belonged to Russia and therefore should rejoin its so-called native land. Now, the State Department responded and said, I think we can speak for all of us that the U.S. government will certainly not letting Alaska go back. Well, again, we also have the U.S. Navy build up, and we've sent a destroyer there. It's been dispatched to the Alaskan coast in response to the Russian Navy ships operating there, and fighter squadrons and other aircraft that are based in Alaska have also been placed on heightened alert. So we've seen somewhat of a buildup going on there. Now, the reason why I'm even talking about this is because it seems very similar to the rhetoric pushed by Biden administration before Russia invaded Ukraine. If you guys been with me this long since then, watching my videos, before the invasion, I was stating how it seemed to be that America wanted Russia to invade Ukraine. Like they were almost offering Ukraine to Russia. And then within weeks, they invaded. Could that be this type of scenario? When you're looking at the political landscape we have at the moment, where the Democrats do not want to lose by any means necessary, even if that's to take out Donald Trump, if that's to incite a World War III scenario. I mean, we got multiple World War III type scenarios erupting all around the world. You got Israel, and obviously this with Russia. We've got China, and Senator Dan Sullivan, Republican from Alaska, said that he has deep concern over the situation. He said the significant uptick in scale and frequency of Russian-Chinese military activity in the region is disturbing. So we've also seen China and Russia operating together as well. Now, a lot of people ask the big question, Could we survive a war with Russia and China? Well, this article says America isn't ready for another war because it doesn't have enough troops. The U.S. military recruiting crisis explained. I've been beating this horse to death. Now, we've seen even the standard being dropped within the military due to soldiers unable to pass PT tests. They have very little reenlistment going on. So seasoned troops are not staying in, and they can't even get new recruits. Now, the Marine Corps has actually even opened up this. The Marine Corps wants you back in regular component. Here's what you need to know about the prior service and reserve augmentation enlistment program. Key points: open to all ranks. Apply anytime through your local recruiter and career planner. Must be able to complete 20 years of active service before the age of 62. I don't know if that's referring to complete service. So if, let's say, you did 10 years already active, you got out, could you go in at 52? Or is it 20 years active? Because that would mean 42. Lateral moves possible based on qualification needs. Eligibility: fully medically ready status or new medical screening. So people that may have been potentially put out for medical reasons may get a new medical screening and get put back in. RE4 codes need modification except for the coup vaccine refusal. So RE4 codes are non-reenlistment codes. So they're even taking Marines who got bad discharges. And they said other RE codes are considered case by case. For reserve Marines, conditional release required, and routing varies depending on the IR, AR, blah, blah, blah. So selected Marine Corps Reserve, those sort of things. So they're trying to get back in veterans. Now, obviously recruiting crisis, but could they be also worried that something's going to happen? That's a great question. The military recruiting outlook is grim indeed. Loss of public confidence, political attacks, and the economy are all taking a toll. Well, I would say probably a lot of it is due with that, because primarily we have low recruiting numbers, and we have a historic low of white men joining the military, which makes up most of the military. Well, now you have a historic low happening, and a lot of people are asking why. Well, I think I know the answer to that is primarily due to the recruiting they're trying to do. So they're putting the recruiting based on military DEI standards and initiatives. Why would someone want to join if they're asking for this type of individual? I don't meet that. Why would I join? Now, you'll get stonewalled when you're looking at gaining rank. Okay, so you'll have a glass ceiling because you're not the right color, and you may not believe me, but I had a Marine Corps insider share this information. Look at this right here, and you can see the highlighted information here. What it says is that this is the LOI. So this is for Marine Force Reserve Diversity, Attract, Identify, Mentor, Educate, and Develop. It's called the Aimed Officer Program. So what they're trying to do is get minority officers. And you see the highlighted stuff here. Identify and develop talent within Marine Forces Reserve from historically underrepresented populations. The Marine Corps draws its collective strength and identity from all of its Marines. The Corps benefits when it attracts and remains attractive to Marines from a range of backgrounds and thus diverse perspectives and talents. Diversity provides us a competitive warfighting advantage over our adversaries, particularly those who place a premium on uniformity of thought. Founded upon the Commandant of the Marine Corps' guidance of prioritizing diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts as part of the talent management. So they're looking at wanting officers, and when we're looking at, when you go more into this program here, and then you see that, should we bring back the draft? Yeah, that's going to work. But when you look more into that LOI there, it talks about basically these would be officers for infantry. Now, I'm going to show you something else. This is a screenshot. It's kind of hard to see. It was taken actually from a phone, from a screen of an email. It's redacted somewhat, but it's going to show you, this is from the Marine Corps as well, that this is a listing of senior staff NCO positions to be filled by minorities. You see these various sergeant, major, master, sergeant, sergeant, lieutenant colonel to be filled by minorities. Then there's also a follow-up email here. This fiscal year 2025 promotion and selection board tasking. I know this is a short fuse as I just received. I need 2 volunteers, AC, to sit on the sergeant, major, master, sergeant board. One sergeant major must be a minority, and 1 master gunnery sergeant must be ground side and minority. If we cannot fill the master gunnery piece, then we will push to other divisions. So this is not a scam. This is not clickbait. This is actually what's happening in the Marine Corps right now. Now, the Marine Corps has resisted traditionally a lot of the DI initiatives, but the Marine Corps is the last to fall, and it's there. So what do you think is happening in the other branches of service? Now, in the Marine Corps, we are all green. That's the way we are taught, that in the Marine Corps, that or you're dark green, you're light green, we're all green. And we never previously played into this sort of stuff, this racial division stuff, but it's happening now. And whenever you make troops, soldiers, Marines, sailors, airmen, whatever, feel special because of X, Y, and Z, they're no longer part of the team. How do you think that happened? How do you think that occurs on the battlefield? Now, this email was talking about E9 positions. Now, how do you feel about sending your son or daughter to go serve in the military where their leadership was selected not because he was the best man for the job, but because he fit the quota they needed at that time? That doesn't make you feel like they're like putting your kid in someone's life's hands just because they were born a certain way. Now, the other thing is that we also have pullees that can't meet standards. So they're lessening the standards. They can't meet the educational requirements. They can't meet the ASVAB scores. They can't meet the PT standards, the physical training standard. So they then drop that down. So then you have your son or daughter going to go fight with China, and they're surrounded by people that should not even been there in the first place because they couldn't meet the standard, and they're being led by someone who was just promoted because of a quota. How do you feel about that? And especially if we're looking at possible attack on the homeland, keep them here. Keep them here. Train them here. Again, they're talking about completely restructuring in case of a mass casualty event. Why would they be discussing this? Unless they know. This is what we know. What do we not know? What do we not know? I wanted to share this because it's disturbing. It's disturbing what's happening to our military. Meanwhile, superpowers are ready to light us up. Right now, at the most vulnerable moment, would this not be like right here, knocking on the door of this election that could change history? Would this not be the perfect time to conduct a strike? Our military is in trouble, someone said. Thank you. I appreciate it. Place. I appreciate it, man. Someone said our military is in trouble. We are in deep trouble. That was American Warrior Revolution. Thank you. We are in deep trouble. And this is, like I said, the Marine Corps was the last echelon. It's been happening in all their branches, every unit. I mean, they're doing this stuff. They have PowerPoint presentations for DEI stuff, for troops are getting brainwashed. What I feel like is the same thing that was happening on college campuses back 20 years ago. And we're seeing the culmination of these people that they took that same model and injected it into our military. Why? Because they were doing on college campuses with the youth, brainwashing the youth. These people are going to go take positions. Now they brainwash the youth of our military who will take positions as well, whether inside of the military or outside the military. It's a good place to have them, because in the military, anyone who served, you are working under a very structured environment. You believe everything your officer, your staff sergeant, your gunny, everything they say. These are seasoned guys. You listen to them. So you respect them. And now they're telling you this, and this, and this guy special because of this, and you're not special. You're not going to get promoted. You're not going to get your duty station preference. You're not going to get the MOS you want. You can't lat move. We don't need you in that position. We have too many white guys over there, so we don't need you to go over there. Oh, you want that unit? Sorry, they're maxed on quota. Dark times. Before, again, like I said, it didn't matter. It didn't matter about these things. Now, I would like to know your thoughts on whether, if you think Russia is serious about this. I mean, if I wanted to do an attack, it would be now. It would be now. Right now. Wouldn't wait a day. You just had Zelensky come over here and badmouth Trump. I mean, it's perfect time. Guys, I do want to share this real quick too as well. The BSS Tac Light that I designed. Tactical Light flash and smash. A lot of lumens. The bezel comes off. You can put on as a ring. You can put on your keychain. Then you get to that pesky checkpoint and you can put it back on, and now you're not defenseless. Anyway, guys, these are on sale right now for $29. Groundbreaking. They didn't even tell me that. I just saw it. Go grab them. $29. These things are usually like $60. We've been selling for years. These things, I've gotten messages before from people. I've got pictures filled with blood and hair. People have used these things to save their life. One EMT was rolled over in a ambulance that got T-bone, was on fire, and he broke his way out. I mean, I've had such great stories. It's one of my proudest products I've ever designed. Go grab you one, guys. You got loved ones, wife, daughter, kid. They're off at college. They're off at work, whatever. Get them one of these to have for $29. It's a great tool to have. And you can use it, obviously, using with a pistol and various such things. I've got videos on that. You can go watch blackscoutfilms.com. I've got the home defense, self-defense video, and I cover all those things. You can check that out there. I'll put the link for the light below. Guys, let me know your thoughts on Russia. Let me know your thoughts on your military. If you're in the military, let me know if it's worse than what I'm saying. Anyway, guys, remember to stay frosty, stay strapped, and always stay dangerous.